quality and environment. So we have really to work close to them, and they are also working with new materials and so on. The good example. No method is more effective for bringing progress than the good example. We're always talking about that in our company. Our goal is to embrace the whole home furnishing area. We do this by offering a wide range of well-designed and functional products. Function and technical quality throw-away products are not IKEA. We want our product to last in people's homes and to be enjoyed while they are there. And the picture behind me is how artists this is from an art gallery in London, how they look at the future. It can scare me sometimes. Good results with small means. Before choosing a solution, assess its worth in relation to the cost. Expensive solutions are often signs of mediocrity. Or as Giorgio Armani once said, I met him for 3 years ago in Milan, and there was some event, and he just told the audience, price has nothing to do with beauty. The fact is that IKEA simply make excellent products, and I have just said, thank you. Because they have decided to work with a brand, a very expensive brand, and we have done the opposite. Too much planning can be restricting. Simplicity is a virtue. Let simplicity and common sense rule planning and decision making. Social dimension, of course, we are looking at our customers. You can't categorize customers in neat little groups anymore. People lead complex lives, and their situation and mindsets are constantly changing. But IKEA's core philosophy is to produce democratic design. People may live on a limited budget, but they still aspire to create a beautiful home. Everyone here, I guess, would like to have a beautiful home in their own way. They want practical and sensible furniture. Therefore, IKEA tries to offer good design that everybody can afford. This is what we call democratic design. So the whole philosophy can be summarized in one key line. What are the relevant customer benefits on the product? We are always talking about relevant customer benefits. Yeah, everybody deserves equal opportunities in life and the chance to enjoy them. Long manifestos offering a better domestic environment or a happier life if you buy product X are not enough. Word needs to be transformed in action. That's what we try to do, IKEA. But we are also working with depth analysis. So IKEA carries out in-depth analysis on a continual basis to find out what people really want and need during different stages of their life. For example, we have one depth analysis we made every 3rd year together with institute in a different kind of research institute in the world. And we asked around, last time, it was a year ago, we asked more than 60,000 people. It was 800 questions, and we have done it 3 times, so we know a lot about our customers and what they think about our range and everything. So it's one part of the work. And life situations. Everyone here are in a specific life situation. And our needs are diverse in different life situations. So we have also made a lot of investigations behind all these different life situations. You have, for example, first-timers moving together, having children, and so on. And we have been working together with psychologists and everything behind to really try to find out people's needs. I can give you an example it's from Scandinavia, I know. If you look, a man and a woman moving together, mainly they bring something to the new home, some furniture and something like that. And in Scandinavia, work is like that. After a year, everything the man have bring to the home, have the woman throw away. So we know that because we have our investigations, and it's not funny if you have the knowledge, because we know also 80% of all the decisions about home furniture are taken by women, and 70% of all of IKEA's customers are women. We don't, IKEA offer real-life solutions with added value. This is also some kind of added value. Just an example. But instead of just furnishing rooms, we solve real needs, or try to solve them. This is just a small flat, because we know most of our customers living on small spaces. Because our stores are located close to huge cities. And I remember when we started, it was maybe 2 years after we have started in the region of Paris with the store, we found out that 80% of all sofas we were selling in Paris was bed sofas. And then of course we went home to people, tried to see how they was living. Of course, they use the bed sofa every night to sleep in, because they haven't any space for a bed. So simple was it. So that's one reason why we really need to be interested in people's real life and how they are living. So instead of just selling products, we try to offer smart and relevant solutions. This chair by Thomas Sandell, is an architect, a Swedish architect. It's an ideal chair for both inside and outside use. It was in a special project we had done to really try to keep the design on a higher level, so it was possible to also use them inside in your living room. And instead of just seeing our target group as families with kids, we side with people including kids. It's a different way of thinking. Or instead of just presenting furniture, we offer the chance to create a real home. And a real home looks in so many different ways for so many different people. The emotional dimension, design and architecture has a profound impact on our view of the world, and when it works right, it's not elitistic at all. Everyone can enjoy wandering around the new Tate Modern Museum in London, or sit down on the street furniture created by Gaudi in Barcelona. You have to think that way when you start, the emotional way. Some word about our design team. I have a small, including myself, we are a small team. We are only 12 in-house designers in Sweden, but we have all the time 4 students, and when I mean students, they have at least a Bachelor of Design. Some of them have already a Master in Design, but they are still students anyway. So we are all the time 16 designers, but we are also from 8 different countries. So we are very multi-international in the design team. And then I have around 70 freelance designers around the globe under different kind of contracts. Some of them are working maybe 50% for IKEA, and some maybe made a project a year. So that's one thing, and it's also, I guess, some world unique thing we have at IKEA. We have a majority of female designers, because we know our customer and they know them better. And then we really try to work also with design, so with the universities all over the globe. I have been running projects from China, in Shanghai, and in United States, and many places, and Spain, Portugal, you name all the countries. I finished just a student project in Moscow together with the university. It's one way for us also to learn the market and how the students are thinking. And I have had the opportunity when we run this project in Moscow to visit real people's home in the suburb of Moscow. And I can tell you it was a disaster to see. But now I know much more about the customer in Russia. Yeah, what are your values? Because at IKEA it's not a question of looking for people whose face fits. Indeed, if your values are exactly the same, neither of us will be challenged and developed. When I try to find co-workers and designers, I really look for a strong individual. It's so important. But if the IKEA concept inspires you, you must probably share many of our core values and can live with the rest. So that's the way we think. Doing your own thing without looking over your shoulder at what others are doing can make you genuinely different. It's really important. And in that way, I have gave my in-house designers one day. It means 20% of the working time they can do what they want. Come up with some fresh ideas. It has nothing to do with planning. And we made prototypes and so on. But design is just the tip of the iceberg. I really like to compare the design process with an iceberg. You know, this 20% you can see over the water level. That's what we are doing. Then we have to work with a lot of specialists in the other field. Production, and you have logistic, and security, and you name it. So design have nothing to do with some kind of one-man show. And I don't know how many times I have got questions from journalists about next trend and so on. But lifestyle trends are changing all the time. But people's basic needs remain the same. That's my answer. We still sit, cook, and eat and sleep, all of us. And the trends are just a ripple on the surface. Sometimes it's blue, and sometimes it's round shapes and square shapes and so on. But you need to have the knowledge of people's needs. So that's why we work quite seriously also with design briefs and so on before we start the project. As I told you, we never considered the design process to be a one-man show. Ideas for a product come from different sources. It might be the producer, or product developer, designer, or by Mr. Kamprad himself sometimes. It happens. And it's important to have that kind of knowledge. But curiosity is a must for the design process. If you don't have a natural sense of curiosity, you can't design for IKEA. You have to be interested in people's way of living and in the way they want to live in order to design something relevant in their lives. So it means my designers, they are traveling a lot, not really interested in people's way of living. I guess they spend around 2 months a year traveling in the world somewhere, but they spend most of the time at the factory floor together with our suppliers and try to work out new models and new methods, maybe together with the supplier. There is always the fear of making mistakes. Yeah, fear is the root of all bureaucracy and the enemy of all evolution. To make mistakes is the privilege of an active person and the developer of the wise person. Only when asleep do we make no mistake. So dare to fail, because then you will learn even more. I can tell you one story. I think it was around 85, 87, I can't remember. I have got a brilliant idea together with a Danish freelance designer. And we would like to design the best TV and swivel chair and easy chair. They should do everything in your life. Okay, and IKEA, we was also looking a lot and make research together with Volvo cars and Saab cars and so on, and look everything. And IKEA invested a lot of money in the production line together with the supplier, and I think we sold 20 pieces. But I'm still at the company, and hopefully I've learned something. But sometimes you also have to follow your gut instinct when you do something. This sofa behind me is named Klippan sofa, and it was designed in 1980. And